entertaining fight in the world because I learned so many different things. And then I came up with like new rules. And I think that's amazing.
Yeah. No, 100%.
I never thought when that day started I was going to listen to an official tell another man you have to stay off his cock.
Yes. Yeah.
I was not expecting to hear that.
Matt Miller jumps in. He said, so Chris is pro-castration. Duly noted.
I don't know that that's pro-castration.
It's not.
You hit somebody in the dick 3 times, they should be able to hit you back in the dick.
Damian jumps in, said, watching Fight Club was more interesting than the UFC this weekend. And Joseph Gomez said, Dana White cashing Abu Dhabi checks. Yeah, that's why they're doing Fight Island over the air. That's the whole thing. They're cashing checks.
I felt like I was hoodwinked when I realized, when are they going to fight outside? When am I going to see this ring? When am I going to see this ring? And we were about midway through the fight before I realized,
oh, this is just what it is.
100 degrees over there. We're not seeing this ring.
No, it's Fight Island so that they can have the fights, like so they don't have to worry about anything. It's being regulated and whatnot by that country over there, the United Arab Emirates. So that's why it was going on. But to get back into the main card, the Jessica Andrade Thug Rose fight was fantastic. That was obvious great fight, and it went the distance. But that was great. The Volkanovski fight against Holloway. Pretty good fight. I mean, it wasn't super boring.
They just got it wrong. It was a really good fight. I actually liked all the fights. I thought it was a good night of fighting. I enjoyed it.
The I'm missing one. What's the Peter Yan fight? Where he finished Jose Aldo. The refs.
Okay, yeah.
That whole thing where he did not call the fight. That referee should absolutely be checked out. They need to have an investigation into that because it seemed like he wanted him to die.
I had a bunch of guys over and a few guys over, not a bunch of guys. And we all watched and we were all like, he gonna stop this thing? Literally all 4 of us at some point in time before it was stopped said, when's he gonna stop this?
Yeah.
That one was pretty bad. I really wanted – that was one of those hard ones. You know how I always like Cowboy? But because Cowboy's so tough, he fights all these dudes that are way better than him and in their prime, and he's past his prime now. I just wanted Aldo to do well, and he's just past his prime now.
Which is crazy because he's only, what, like 32 or 34?
Yeah, but
like
he's fought a lot of fights, man. He's been – it's like running back years. You know, you can be a lot younger than some of these other guys, but – your prime is gone, and theirs is still in.
If you go back and watch our preview from last Wednesday before I left to go out of town for a couple of days, I called every fight correctly. Now I bet
all the favorites won. Not a single dog lost.
Masvidal was the one that I bet on Masvidal because but I didn't bet a lot because you knew. This is what I really wanted to talk about with this. Yep. Is the UFC has a boring problem because these champions that they have are not sellable. They're not marketable at all. Kamaru Usman, yes, his fight against Colby Covington was entertaining. But when you have Habib and Usman and guys like that are running your divisions, and they are the guys that take it to the ground all the time, they lean on these guys on the cages and whatnot, it is the most boring thing to watch in the history of the world. That Usman Masvidal
really
fight.
Hate watching Usman fight. I think the only reason I enjoyed that last fight was because I knew Masvidal really hated him and wanted to kick his ass. And when the first 3 rounds, basically, Masvidal came out just firing with all he had. And I mean, I said it in our group. If he doesn't knock him out in the first 2 rounds, this thing is going to be ugly and over.
Oh, that's what I said on the show last Wednesday.
Yeah. We know that's part of the striker.
That's it.
It's part of a guy not being from a training camp. Yes, he said he was in shape and always working, but not really.
Yeah.
And Usman is just boring to watch.
Oh, he's incredibly boring. It's unbelievable. Joseph Gomez
said, stomping that dude's foot, it was pissing me off.
Which I saw so many different tweets about Ultimate Foot Stomping Championship. It gets boring, it gets terrible, and it's like I'm already up at 12:30.
It's 1 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, and I'm watching the guy step on another guy's foot.
Yeah, this is just stupid and dumb, and why is this allowed? Joseph Gomez said, let's drop the cage, throw him in the sand, let's go full Bruce Lee game of death. Yeah, I'm in. Let's go with it. But yeah, I think the UFC needs to figure this out. They've got to change some of these rules around to where they're not laying on them on the side of the cage for an entire round and multiple rounds. It is not fun for anybody. If you get a takedown, then okay. But standing somebody up against the side of the cage is the most boring
that's the problem. It's
possible thing.
And this is easily fixable. You have, once you get locked up, you have so many seconds that I'm going to let you stand here grabbed up before I'm going to break you. You either take them in a takedown or I'm going to separate you, and then we're going to restart.
Yeah.
And you can throw punches, you can throw knees, you can do all this stuff, but we're not going to stay locked up. You're going to get separated, or you're going to take them to the ground. You're either going to do something physically to them, or we're going to take it to, or we're going to separate you and restart.
Yeah.
That's it.
Matt Miller said, I'm waiting for a league that's like modern-day gladiators where you have a fight until you have a knockout or a tap-out. He said, obviously gladiators were to the death, so modern-day gladiators. Yeah.
So the problem with that is, without having rounds, is once these guys get really tired, it gets super sloppy.
Yeah.
And now instead of having a knockout that might happen in a second round or a third round early, like the way the last minute to 30 seconds of all of these rounds are, you just have that for 4 or 5 minutes before somebody just gets caught in something.
Yeah.
But that would be even more boring. It's the break of the rounds that gives them a breather. It is what actually gives you any hope of having excitement.
Joseph Gomez said the refs do have the power to do that, even on the ground if there's action, but few refs do it. And I think if there's no action.
They have the power to, they just don't ever take it.
Yeah, which is absolutely insane, and it kills the interest in the sport. It's just absurd. But it was incredibly. Vince said, "Give them nunchucks."
Now, and here's the downside. Okay, I get it. Like, I hear the argument from the people that are really into this stuff.
The MMA purists, I get it. I understand the science of this. I know
that Usman would then be punished because that's how he fights. Then he's gonna have to learn a new way to fight.
Yeah, you can't just lean on somebody.
Right now, the rules benefit him. If we change the rules, they wouldn't benefit him. So that's part of it. He's got to adapt.
And you need to do that if you're going to keep your sport interesting.
Every sport evolves, constantly evolves. It's
why the NFL has gone more offense, because they have figured out more points means more viewership.
Well, and how did they do that? They did it by slowly changing rules to benefit the quarterback. We got to protect the quarterback more. Well, now that the quarterback's protected more, then